All right, what's up, everyone? God, this is super bright. Christian here, Century 21 AA Realty. It's been a while since I made a video. I think my last video was like 5 months ago. And so, as probably you can tell from the title of the video, I'm doing a vlog now. So, this might be the longest vlog out of all the ones that I'm going to be doing. I know specifically I want to do a vlog every week, like every Sunday for the next month, because I'll explain later on in this why. Uh, but first, so how did I get into real estate? So I went to school. In high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to be. I went for like acting and quickly realized the effort to become a professional actor wasn't worth it for me. I just kind of was really intrigued by becoming famous and just having lots and lots of money. Because ever since I was little, my goal was always like I want to determine my own financial income. I didn't want to be put on a salary job. And I saw actors like, well, not only do they make a lot of money, but also they get a lot of fame out of it. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So I did like acting classes. I did some acting in high school, and I did like a competition in California. I think when I was like 18 years old, and I won 2 trophies, I think it was, and I got an agent. I don't know how legit this agency was, but I got an agent. And they just like sent me stuff like castings to go on. And when I was in California, I was like, oh, this is really, really fun. I'm enjoying this. But when it came to the actual acting, like, and performing in front of people, I was like dreading. I'm like, I have to remember all these lines, blah, 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 blah. And I just wasn't enjoying it. So like the castings that this agency was sending to me, I just never went to any of them. I think I maybe went to one of them, and I just didn't care. I just didn't have like the drive to actually get selected or whatever. And so it was getting to the point where college was rolling along, and I was like, oh shit, like everybody like has to go to college. So my parents were like, oh, you gotta choose something. So I decided to become a police officer. Like, oh, that sounds interesting. I like Sherlock Holmes. Maybe I can become like a detective and like be like this cool like I can solve any crime kind of dude. So I did that. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice, and like as time went on in college, I was just like realizing like, oh God, I don't want to do this at all. And as it was getting closer to graduation, I was kind of like panicking internally, and my parents around that time were like, what are you gonna do with your life? You're like, are you gonna do anything towards your career? And I just didn't want to. So, like at the end of college and throughout high school, I worked at a deli. My parents have their own deli, and then like I graduated, and then I did security for like 6 months, and I felt like I was not really going anywhere. And my parents were like, "You can't just do security your whole life." I mean, I was getting paid like $12 an hour, and like even with overtime, it felt like it was BS because like, yeah, you get paid more for overtime, and it felt like I was being gypped because you got taxed so much more when you did overtime. So I was like, oh man, I really need to think of something. It was getting to the point where my family just kept like being like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And then at the time I was hanging out with this girl, and her dad used to be a real estate agent, and he would just like mention it every so often, whatever, that when he was in the field. And I guess it just like hit me subconsciously because like I was just had it like at that point, and I'm like going to my room, and then my dad's like, so what are you gonna do with your life? And I just go, real estate. I was like, now I have to commit. I like looked into it. I'm like, what do I need to become a real estate agent? And I had to be 18 years old. I was 22, right? 22 or 23, something like that. I had to take a 75-hour course. It was like 500, $600, I believe, at the time. And then I had to take a state test. I'm like, you don't even need college for this? This is awesome. So I did that. I did the 75-hour course. I did the state test, and I thought I completely bombed the state test. Like I came in with like swagger, like psh, I got this. This is nothing. I'm gonna ace this. And then like 2, 3 questions in, I'm like, oh no, this is not good at all. I don't remember learning any of this, because like they were throwing mathematical questions at me, and I remember just like like even where I took the test, it felt so weird. It was like an old like World War II history museum. Like they put like they're like letting people in, and like they took you like down to this basement. It felt just like so stuffy, so I was already uncomfortable, and on top of that I also had to perform well on this exam, and I'm like I felt so bad getting out of there. I'm like, there's no way I passed this. This is it. I have to go back to trying the things that I don't want to do. So at the time, because you need before you even take the test, you need to find a broker. So I found a broker, uh, obviously Century 21 AA, and I just remember because I'm like, there's no way it passes. But my broker was like super like positive. He's like, yeah, you passed this. Like you're fine, you're fine. And like he's already started like giving me tasks to do, like how I can grow my business. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like already starting. I got my own desk. This is like they're giving me all this stuff, and I'm like, and they're gonna see that I failed. And then when I got that, like, oh yeah, you passed, like, cause you don't get like a percentage, you get either pass or fail. And I saw that P, and I was like, oh my God, I have to celebrate. I just had to celebrate, and it was great. It was great. It was just felt good. Then I was in real estate, and I didn't really know what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be like I guess a lot of people think this. It's like super easy money. Like real estate agents get paid a lot, and it was it was difficult. I gotta say, because I had to be calling, like cold calling. I had to call people like expired listings, which means listings that didn't sell, for sale by owners. I had to call buyers. I had to door knock, and I like try to work my ass off, and it felt like I was putting all this effort in, thinking like, "Oh, I should be making easy money," and I didn't even get my first house sale till like 4 months in, and like that was like super difficult, and it was just like this like treacherous road, but I was feeling so fulfilled as I was doing it, and I was like loving it, but at the same, I felt like I was like psychotic, like I was feeling so much pain because I was putting all this work in and making no money, but at the same time I was like super like extremely starting to enjoy the process. I felt like I was getting to like there were points because I had like a lot of internal things that I had to deal with because like I'm a at the time I was very like, what's the word, temperamental, I would say, and I just didn't like want to put in all that work. I still wanted to like have my life and be like have like a social life and still play video games. I still had like that my high school mentality where I just didn't really want to put in the work, but at the same time I had all these ideas, like I wanted to have like achieve all these things and like become a millionaire and like just have my own like huge house. I wanted the Lamborghini. I wanted all that crazy stuff. And then on the other side, like a part of me was just like, oh, like you can't do it. Like just like this negative energy that was always combating like my drive and my ambition. So like the first 2.5 years, it was literally just like trying to combat that, like reverse the way my brain thinks naturally, which is like, hey, I'm either like afraid of failure or I'm afraid of success. And it was like the worst combo ever because it's like, oh no, I don't want to fail. But then I start succeeding in areas and I'm like, I don't want to succeed. And then I'll just like drop myself down to like this like regular basis. So that was like my biggest problem in real estate is like constantly dealing with that burnout, that mental energy that would constantly get at you. 4 years later, you know, the first 3 years, very, very financially very hard. It was definitely a lot difficult. I'm seeing all my efforts from the past 3 years, finally on my fourth year, I'm starting to see the benefits, and I'm starting to actually get business, and not like just me going out there and prospecting. Like last year, I made 10,000 calls. If you're a cold caller, if like that's your business, you're probably like, that's nothing. I do like a million in 2 days, but to me that was a lot. It was a shit ton, because I was like the type of personality that I was like, there's no way I would ever be able to cold call a person. I'd be too shy. I'd be too scared. And then I was like, wow, I made 10,000 cold calls. I started seeing like all my work starting to finally pan out now. But I'm still getting like that burnout. Like I get to this point where like I'm super fulfilled with what I'm doing, and then I just start slipping. Like, and I always thought like, oh, it's because I'm doing too much real estate. I'm just burning myself out from work. I started watching Alex Becker. Like, I was playing video games. I don't know if you guys ever play Apex Legends, but I'm like obsessed with that game, and I would literally, instead of obsessing over real estate and like figuring out how I can become a better real estate agent, I would like literally dream. I would just constantly think about like becoming better at this game. Like I had to have the best movements. I had to have the best like accuracy, 'cause it's a first person shooter game. I had to have like the best usage of my abilities, and it would just be like this obsession. And what Alex Becker says, and it's all based on dopamine. And I realized that, hey, it's not that I burn out because of real estate, it's I burn out because of dopamine. So like building a business, it's hard. Like you'll get points where it gets difficult and you just don't want to do it. So you'll get dopamine, you'll get fulfillment, but not as much as like a video game, or not as much as watching a movie, or not as much as like drinking alcohol, things like that. And so I always got to a point in my business where I was feeling super happy with my business, and then, and even Alex says it and it makes so much sense, is that when you hit like a certain amount of dopamine, you're like, ooh, but I want more. Like adding these things, like playing a video game now, it's gonna make me even happier. And then what happens is like I like my fulfillment is here, and then my bad negative habits are like here, and then they like flip because I just start doing the negative habits more, because they give you more of a dopamine rush with less of the pain. Like it takes a while to build a business, and you'll get rewarded along the way. It's a lot of delayed gratification, but with a video game, it's just like you keep getting like those dopamine hits. And I would like, even like with YouTube, I would like overwatch YouTube videos, like just entertainment things that just kill my brain, and I just weren't helping me with anything. So it takes me to why I'm actually doing the vlog now. I decided to do a 30-day challenge where I cut out every negative dopamine thing. I'm starting it tomorrow, but Monday, what is that, the 29th up to 28th, something like that. I don't know when I'm gonna be I might put this video up today. I'm not quite sure. We'll see if I edit it quick enough. But so I'm doing this challenge where I cut out all the negative dopamine, and I just focus on real estate. So like I can't I can't watch YouTube just for entertainment purposes. It has to be things that pertain to real estate. I can't play video games. I can't eat poorly. I have to work out, and there's some other things that are a little personal. I don't know if I can get into that. So I'm cutting all that out, and I've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 days, because I did stuff like challenges in the past where I just like cold turkey it, like just stop everything at once, and then I'll just end up failing maybe like a week down the line. But like I gave myself like these past 4 or 5 days to actually like start letting go stuff, and I've already been feeling so much more of a sense of like fulfillment, and because my dopamine receptors aren't so burnt out, and my mental energy isn't expended on, oh, I want to, like I have to work, but look at all this other stuff that I can do. It was like this back and forth, like I know I should be doing work towards my business, but like there's like another part of my brain that's like pulling away me, like pulling at me from getting like actual things done, like, oh no, play this video game. And like that's what was causing me the burnout. It wasn't that I was doing too much real estate. It wasn't that I was too focused and doing the thing that I want to do, which means growing my business. It was this like back and forth that was actually burning me out. It's like my brain was like, oh, but this gives you more dopamine. Come on, let's just play this. Let's play this. This is gonna be so much more fun. And then a part of me is like, no, but I gotta get this work done. And that was killing me inside. So like these past 4 or 5 days, like just doing real estate and like cutting out all the negative stuff, I feel so much better. Like my dopamine receptor are so much more sensitive. So like I'll have a lot of fun and I'll enjoy finding a house, helping a client, doing things like this, like shooting videos. I just did a TikTok yesterday, things that which took me like forever to finally get on top of. Like Instagram, I'm posting like on my Instagram business store, on my business page, and I'm actually participating with other Instagram pages and just really just getting obsessed with like what I'm trying to build. And that's what Alex Backer says. He like went full crazy because he had millions of dollars and he had like a huge house, a Lamborghini, and he completely just sold all of it and just bought himself an apartment with a desk and a bed. That's like the crazier version, and he's been doing it for like 7 months now. But I'm like, this is a challenge that I definitely want to see if I can handle. And so that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Like I said, this is going to be definitely a longer vlog because I had to kind of catch you up from the beginning to now, how this whole journey started and why I'm doing this 30-day challenge. Most likely do another video. I mean, I'm definitely going to do another video next week about my progress and what I kind of learned. And this is going to be, I'm titling this Road to Millions because that's my goal. Is I want to be so obsessed and loving my career that I build a $1 million real estate business. And if it's not real estate, like, I mean, it's going to be real estate, but I also want to incorporate just different types of investing, like real estate, flipping homes, like buying and holding homes, like renting them out, obviously stocks, ETFs, things like that. Anywhere I can invest money and hopefully become a millionaire. So that's it. Until next time.